Hi everyone, welcome back to the DevOps Bucket. So in this video, I'm going to explain you about a service in AWS that is called WAF, Web Application Firewall, how it is helpful to you and how to use that in AWS console. We'll go through the console walkthrough and how it works in the backend as well. Let's think like this. You have built a web application, deployed it on AWS. Everything looks well and it's running fine. And your application is running behind a load balancer. Users are accessing it. Traffic is growing day by day once after you deployed that particular resources. Okay, your application, let's say in ECS or EKS or EC2, any compute service, you have your application and friends with an ALB, and users are hitting your application and it reaches to the ECS. So users are growing day by day. Users are growing day by day, so that your application getting more number of requests. Okay, but the problem here is, as your traffic grows, so it two potential threats. You start seeing unusual requests like bots trying to exploit vulnerabilities, maybe even attempted of SQL injection or cross-site scripting, or these kind of security related threats will be attacked on your application. And this exactly where the AWS WAF comes into picture. So let's understand AWS WAF from scratch and in real world end-to-end way. AWS WAF stands for Web Application Firewall. Is a security service actually that helps you protect your web application from common web exploits. It sits between your user and the application. So it will sit at this point your application, acting like a smart filter that inspects incoming HTTP and HTTPS requests before they reach by you to your backend. Now let's visualize the flow again. The user sending a request from their browser, okay, like this, and this request first hits the AWS services like CloudFront or application load balancer or API gateway or whatever the entry point here before implementing the WAF. So before the request is forwarded to your application, if you are implementing WAF evaluates it based on certain rules that you define. If the request is safe, it will allow that request. If it looks suspicious or malicious, then it will be blocked. Let's go step by step and build this. First, you need a resource to attach WAF to. So typically, WAF can be attached to some set of the resources. What are they? A load balancer, CloudFront. Once your application is deployed, you go to the WAF, create something called Web ACL. Think a Web ACL as a container for all of your security tasks. Once you build that Web ACL, you will create a rules. What rule that you want to check before passing the request to your load balancer or to your CloudFront, or from there to ECS or whatever the backend you are using, EKS, EC2 or any compute service. Okay, the rules can be simpler or advanced. For example, you can block a request coming from specific IP address or allow only certain resources. You can also create rules to detect patterns like SQL injection or cross-site scripting, or also it will provide as a bot rules as well, which if any bot trying to exploit your application, it will detect them and it will stop them. AWS also provide a managed rule groups as well, which one of the most popular features of WAF. These are pre-built security rules maintained by AWS or third parties. Instead of writing everything from scratch, you can just attach these rules and groups instantly to your WAF to protect your application. You once your rules are defined, you associate the Web ACL with your resource, like as I said, ALB or CloudFront distribution. From that moment, every incoming request starts passing through the WAF, and rules will be like checked upon the request. If that is passing, then only the traffic will be allowed. Otherwise, it will be blocked. Let's say a malicious request is comes in with an SQL injection payload. AWS WAF inspects it, matches it against your rule, and immediately blocks it. The request never reaches your application, which means your backend stays safe. But this is not just about blocking traffic. Observability is equally important. So WAF integrates with the CloudWatch, where you can send the logs and the metrics like allowed requests, blocked requests, rule matches. Every metric will be available across WAF to the CloudWatch, and you can also enable logging to store it to the S3. So what are the requests, like which IP getting more number of requests or whatever the requests that are getting in that particular period, and it will be stored to S3 and you can query them using Athena. Okay, so you can also enable like OpenSearch for deeper analysis. So everything, the log features are also available. Okay, another powerful concept is rate limiting. This is very important. I will also show you in the console. The rate limit is basically your application is running on any compute service, as I said. Someone is trying to flood your application with too many requests in a short period of time. Like we can call it as a denial of service, like DDoS or DOS. What it says, whenever any user or any hacker want to make your system down, they will send continuous number of requests to your IP or to your to your site. So then what will happen, your utilizations will increase of your application and scaling will happen to the high level. And if the scaling may not happen that much quicker, as everything will not work in real time, so then your application will be not available for some moment of time and you will lose your customers or lose your business. So to protect all these DDoS kind of things, have providing a powerful concept called rate limiting. Okay, we can create a rule, that is a rate based rule, that automatically blocks IPs exceeding a certain threshold. This helps us to protect against DDoS behavior at the application layer. Now let's talk about a real world architecture. In most production setups, you will see something like this. User access your application through CloudFront. Okay, user will access your application through CloudFront. Okay, from the CloudFront, WAF is attached to the CloudFront, like this here. WAF is attached to the CloudFront. As I said, any one of the resource you can attach CFT or ALB or anything. Okay, WAF we will add it here. And traffic flows to an application load balancer, and then from the application load balancer will definitely reach to your EC2 or EKS or whatever the compute service that you are using. Important thing to remember that AWS WAF works on the rule priority system. Rules are evaluated in order. Adds and the first match decides the action. So designing your rule order priority is very important to avoid unexpected behavior. So this is how you will implement at a real world scenario. Let's go to the AWS console and see. This is AWS console. If you click on WAF and shield, it is a WAF console that we can creating the WAF related things. This is the new console also been introduced. So Web ACL. First you need to create a Web ACL. So here if you see, there are a lot of options available, and this is WAF. Click on WAF. In the WAF you can click on protection Web ACLs. Here it will ask you to create. On create and click on app category, which app category you are, like let's say API integrations, enterprise, e-commerce systems, content publish systems, media file processing, anything. Let's say API integration. Okay, click on API, or you can also put both API and web as well. Here it is asking you to create add a resources. Click on add a resources. There are three options, two options. One is regional and global. Regional, if you click on regional, it will show you the resources that you have currently. Okay, if not, then you can also go to global, add CloudFront distribution tenants, anything you can select here. And here we need to choose whatever we are trying to achieve or connecting the resources. I am connecting to this CloudFront distribution, CloudFront. Also you can also try to select this one, which will contain say ALB or Amazon App Runner, API Gateway, everything. Okay, and again here there are three type of protection, initial protections that are available here. For recommended for you, because we selected the things both API and front end. So this is the recommended rule for us. Everything essential, like it rate limits for get request, rate limit for put, post, delete request, Amazon IP reputation list, anonymous IP list. So these are the protections that are available for you. If you want essential rules only, you can select this, or if you want to build your own pack, you can go here as well. Okay, if you click on essential rules, right, so it will already gives you. I am just selecting this, choose rules whatever have. So this is the cost. You can also see the cost for 10 million requests, it's 59 to 60. And here I am selecting this one, so this is the number of requests. Estimated cost is $11. Enter a name, let's say test Web ACL. Okay, and this is the logging thing that we need to choose, Amazon CloudWatch or S3 bucket or data firehouse. You can choose and you can select the CloudWatch log group. If I click S3 buckets, it will show us the S3 buckets that are available, and you can able to get that. Okay, so click on create protection pack once choosing all the options. Okay, once this has been created, you will able to see like this. This is the dashboard. Okay, if I close this, if you see, this is test Web ACL. 0 rules are there currently, and resources we can attach dashboard. If you click dashboard, it will show you how many requests that are coming to your WAF, once you attach it to the resources, it will show the DDoS resources, IP reputations, allowed anonymous traffic, everything, and also it will show you the pattern of your traffic, like how much your application is getting and what are the rules that it is matching and which regions that your application is getting the request, which value of bot detection, whatever the bots traffic that your application are getting. Okay, this is also costs based on the request count. Okay, so go back to this again, and here there is a one more option called AI traffic analysis. So this will identify your traffic patterns using AI analysis, like how much traffic bots are sending, how much traffic real users are sending, what is the volume of requests that are coming. That everything will be identified by using AI traffic analysis. Also, there are sample requests. If you click on view, you can configure the sample request so that this particular sample request will be sent to your application for testing purpose. You click the Web ACL, it will open like this. If I close this again and open this, see, it will show like this. Click on the managed rules to add a new rule. Click on add rule. Here, as I said, there are few rule setups. One is custom rule. Next one is AWS Manager Rule Group and Marketplace Rule Group, Custom Rule Group. The Marketplace one is already whoever created the rule from the scratch and published in the AWS Marketplace, we can reuse them. If not, if you want to create any managed, like use AWS provided managed rules, then you can click on this. This is basically contains about traffic and exploits. So common set of things already AWS aware of that it may help you and it will it added in the this particular managed rule group. If you want to create a custom rule, you need to go to this custom rule. I am showing you how to rate limit your application from particular set of requests to a IP. Click on next. Here there are a lot of options: IP based rule, geo based rule, rate based rule, custom rule. So IP based rule is basically block or allow specific IP ranges that matches your requirement. Geo based rule is some particular coming from the particular country or particular region, and rate based limit is what we are looking for, blocks IP if it exceeds some particular number of requests. Customer also we can do advanced rules, we can create a multiple conditions and or conditions on the rate limit. Click on next. It will ask you two options here. First option is action and rule name. First, if you go to actions, block, challenge, capture, count, so these are the available. So block is basically terminates the connection. Challenges is basically like if you're aware that if you're opening any of the websites, it will ask you to complete a puzzle or something, right? So that it will show like this. Capture, it will ask you capture, and rule name as a test rule name. And rate limit, let's say 100,000 rate limit. After 1,000 rate limit in 1 minute window, that means if in 1 minute of duration, if my application is getting 1,000 requests, then allow. Otherwise, if it is exceeding 1,000 requests, then limit that particular thing. Limit that particular request. Click on rule configuration, and it will ask you to how to, like, for which users or which network setup you need to block your request if it reaches 1,000 in 1 minute. I am going with the source IP. You can also give the headers, okay, match and not match, and custom keys also you have if your application or if your request will contains will originates any of the headers or anything. So let me go to the source IP. Consider all requests or consider only request that matches criteria in a rule statement. So what consider all request means? Consider every request, like every IP in from anywhere, like from internet or from your local or from anywhere. If you want to consider all requests to rate limit, if it may reaches more than 1,000 in a minute, then you can go for this. If not, then click on this only consider requests, and then you can add originates from your country or particular header or particular IP or anything. If you want to control the rate limit or if you want to bypass the rate limit to your local org, if anything coming from your VPC sider, then you need to set like this: originates from an IP address. Here IP address list will be there. Okay, this list I have added. Okay, how I have added this, let me show you. If you click on this, it will show you an IP set. If you open the IP set, it will ask you to register any of the IPs and name it something. If I create IP, see, there is one IP set cider has been created, so I have added my VPC cider here. Just create IP set, use name and regional, and then give an IP. That's it. Okay, so this is how you need to create a IP set, and you can add it here. What it means, whenever your IP is coming, whenever your request is coming within this IP range, then ignore the rules. So here do not match the statement. If you put like this, if any request coming from this VPC cider, then it will not consider the rule. Otherwise, it will consider the rule for all other IPs. Okay, and rule configuration, from where this IP should be available, in the source IP or IP header. If this VPC cider IP will be my source IP here, because if any request coming within the my VPC cider, then allow, otherwise block, right? This is my idea. So I'm using source IP. Click on add rule. That's it. The rule has been saved. Okay. So okay, if I create another rule, let's say sample rule. Let me create go to rules and add rule. Let me go to AWS managed rules now. It will show you some set of managed rules that you can select. Okay. So core set rule, admin protection, SQL database, Linux operating system, whatever it available for you. This is the free ones and these are the paid ones. Let's say bot control is a paid one if we choose, or if you choose these for practice. Okay, it we can adjust them as well. Click on add rule. I am setting it as a default one. See, this rule will checked and then this rule will be checked. If you want to change the rule, edit rule order and then update whatever the rule order you want. First it will check this and it will next it will check this. Both are independent, so no problem for you. If there is anything that similar between the rules, then you can properly adjust the rule priority, which one to apply first, which one to apply next. This is how we implement WAF end to end in a real world environment. If you are building a production grade system, WAF is not optional one. Please remember that it's a critical layer of security before your application gets your traffic. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or any topic that you want to understand. I will make a video, practical video on that. If you understood any something from this video, please like this and share with your groups and friends. Thank you. Bye.